British state exists to serve the British people.
I need to hear from the rest of the panel. Hang on. Daisy.
So let's be really clear. A reform government wouldn't just be throwing out people who have arrived here through irregular routes. They want to rip up indefinite leave to remain. People who have come to this country, who have earned their right to be here, who are granted leave to stay in this country, they want to throw out all of those people, ripping apart families, bringing chaos into our economy and our sector, and doing something which I believe fundamentally is really un-British. Now, on the question about men coming here, I mean, this is just a straightforward fact. The reason why men often arrive in the UK on their own is because the journey is just too dangerous for women and children. When women and children go on that journey, when they're leaving a place of war and persecution, they can be subject to rape, kidnap, trafficking and slavery. And therefore, often men come in advance in order the family can follow them. And that's documented by migration groups. But if I could just finish and come to the question that Paul asked right at the very beginning. I think, Paul, your question tapped into this enormous frustration that British people have on this issue. They've heard slogans. There's been caps, migration caps that have never been met. There are so many broken promises. And I think the British people, the silent majority of British people, are crying out for politicians to come up with practical solutions.
Well, let's talk about some of your solutions, Daisy. So one of yours is to set up these big Nightingale centres to clear the backlog and double the number of caseworkers from 2,000 to 4,000 in 6 months. How are you going to do that in 6 months?
Well, there are lots of caseworkers.
Is that remotely realistic?
I think it is. There are lots of caseworkers at the Home Office, and many of them have left because of the work pressure.
So you're going to find another 2,000 in 6 months?
I think there are many people who have left that service who you could bring back to help run this. But look, realistically, what we have to do, rather than just moving people around from hotels to, army centres or wherever it might be, we have got to drive down the backlog. And the way to do that is to rapidly expand the number of caseworkers who can process these applications quickly. So if we recruit these extra caseworkers, get the backlog down, we should then be in a position to stop using hotels in a matter of months. But at the same time, we need safe and legal routes for those who genuinely are fleeing war and persecution, so they can come here in a managed and compassionate way.
All wars? I mean, there are wars going on. I mean, we could list them. Yemen, Myanmar, Ethiopia, Sudan. I mean, I could go on. You want safe and legal routes for all those areas?
Let's be clear, the vast majority of people leaving those wars go to all sorts of different countries. We don't accept anywhere near as many as a number of other countries.
No, I appreciate that. Usually they go to the country nearest them. But are you saying that we should accept people from all conflict
I think
areas?
we need to have international agreements so that every single country is pulling their weight on this issue, and that's something that is missing at the moment. But the one last thing I also wanted to say was about the right to work. At the moment, because we have people here and it's taking so long to process their claim, they are falling into the clutches of the very criminal gangs that are exploiting this problem. To get them out of the clutches of the criminal gangs, let's give them the right to work. If their claim isn't processed within 3 months, they can then earn their way and we can take money out of the hands of the criminals.
All right, Kieran, you're sitting here very patient. I'm going to come to you. So a little bit more from our audience.